Hey YouTube, just a quick update on the Gatekeeper build. So when I originally got this, I bought this off a mate as a kit, and obviously it doesn't come with any wheels or tyres or anything like that. So my friend kindly threw in some alloy B locks, just eBay specials with some generic tyres. I found that the body sits way too high, and because the body sits too high you get too much body roll on it, and then it doesn't crawl as well as it should really. So these are just some updates on what I've done to make it better. In my eyes anyway, it works better for me. So to start off with, as you can see, I've got some Desert Lizard 90mm shocks on there. The fronts are complete droop setup. So these would drop down rather than push up. And the rears are set up opposite, so they're actually sprung. Just gives, because of the sway bar, it just gives it a bit better articulation. So what have I done? So on the back, the sway bars normally sit here in this back hole, but you find that this bar then, you see, what it does, it sits in at an angle. So because it's sitting in at an angle, as soon as you twist, it binds. So the sway bar's not actually doing its job properly. So these rear brackets, if you undo those, flip them upside down, so these trailing arms are sitting lower, and then you've got the mount here, and you can attach your sway bar to there using the same screw that come out of there, and that means that they sit dead level then with the truck. That's one update I found to be better. Second one, right, my location for my electrics. So what I did is the original battery tray that was here, the plate that's underneath holds the battery tray up. Well, if you undo these two bolts and down this side, you can pull that out, flip it upside down, put it back in, and then the tray will sit down. The only problem with this, obviously the battery tray then won't fit, the gap's too big. So what I've done is I've actually cut the tray down to fit inside the chassis, so I can mount all my electrics. So I've got my receiver, my ESC is going straight to the motor, all my radio gear and stuff is right here. Then what I did on this front bit here, if I remove this, pull that strap out of the way, so the servo used to be sitting upright because it was a 3-link. So what I did is I cut the front bracket out and the centre bar out on this grey piece, on this grey bracket where the servo used to sit. This is the board that used to be connected to this side. So what I've done, basically you've got a U-shaped bracket now, which helps hold the shock towers. I've drilled another hole in the corner, screwed this in so it sits right over the top, and then I can mount my battery to the front, so I've got more front weight. That is because what I've done is I got I think it was a Son of Sam or an Artful Dodger front mounted servo bracket. Obviously I had to make up a steering link, and I made up a 4th link to go in. Nothing binds, nothing touches, steers perfectly well. Don't know if you can see, but it's very, very close, but not quite touching. You get full lock both sides. The beauty of having that is you don't get any bump steer, so when the suspension compresses on a 3-link, it tends to push the axle over one way, which creates bump steer. So I don't like that, so I went for the route of the axle mounted servo. There you go, behind the axle steering. The only thing I need to do now is I want to get a low profile motor mount for it, so the motor can sit lower I can get a smaller motor plate, but so far it's working alright. I do want to replace this cage because there's a lot of weight in this cage. I'm going to replace this cage with either a Proline Power Wagon body, or I'm just going to get the Ecto body because it just bolts straight on, comes with the fittings to bolt it on. So I might just do that, and if I do that, then I convert this back to a 4-link on it, so I can move the shock tower over a bit. I can use an existing old shock tower that I've got kicking about, just one of these, and I put a bracing bar in between them, and that way I can angle it. I can get the same sort of angle with the shocks, but it's more off the axle than it is. So I can delete the sway bar then, and it should work well. It's certainly lower than it was. It's about 1.5 inches lower than it was existing. But yeah, that's my gatekeeper so far. Bit of a hands-on paint job, glows in the dark. It's pretty different. But yeah, hope you like it.